Good day, my friends. I want to talk to you today about the power of focusing. You see, we live in a world full of distractions, things constantly trying to pull us in different directions. But if we're going to reach our highest potential, we have to be intentional about what we give our attention to. It's easy to let worry consume our thoughts. It's easy to focus on what's wrong, on what didn't work out, or on what people are saying. But where your focus goes, your energy flows. If you're always dwelling on the negative, you'll feel drained, discouraged, and stuck. But when you shift your focus to what God says about you, when you focus on His promises, on His goodness, on your dreams and purpose, you'll step into a whole new level of victor. You may be facing challenges today, but let me encourage you, don't focus on the obstacles, focus on the opportunities. Don't focus on how big the problem is. Focus on how big your God is. When you fix your thoughts on the right things, you'll walk in peace, in strength, and in divine favor. The scripture says, set your minds on things above, not on earthly things. That means we have the ability to choose where our focus goes. We don't have to let distractions steal our joy. We don't have to let fear dictate our future. We have the power to align our thoughts with faith, with hope, with expectation. I believe that when you start focusing on the right things, doors will open that no man can shut. Relationships will be restored. Strength will rise. What was meant to harm you, God will turn for your good. So keep your focus on Him, keep your heart full of faith, and watch the incredible things that unfold in your life. What you focus on in life will shape your future. It will determine the path you walk, the choices you make, and the results you see. Your thoughts are like the steering wheel of your life. Where they go, you follow. If you constantly focus on problems, obstacles, and disappointments, that's where your energy will flow, and that's what you'll continue to experience. But if you shift your focus to solutions, opportunities, and the goodness of God, you'll find yourself moving forward with confidence and joy. Too often we get caught up in distractions, things that don't serve us, things that drain our energy, things that pull us away from our purpose. Maybe it's the opinions of others, past failures, or fears about the future. It's easy to dwell on what's wrong, what we don't have, or what hasn't worked out. But here's the truth. Whatever you magnify in your mind will grow in your life. Think about it this way. If you're driving a car and keep looking in the rearview mirror, you're going to have a hard time moving forward. The same principle applies to life. You can't focus on past mistakes and expect to step into new blessings. You can't focus on the fear of failure and expect to walk in confidence. You can't focus on what others are saying about you and expect to live in peace. Instead, you have to make a decision to set your mind on things that build you up, things that strengthen you, things that remind you of who you are and what you're capable of. The scripture tells us, asterisk, set your minds on things above, not on earthly things. Asterisk, that means we have to be intentional about where our thoughts go. Are you focusing on how big your problem is? Or are you focusing on how big your God is? Are you focusing on what's missing? Or are you focusing on what's possible? A farmer doesn't plant weeds and expect a harvest of wheat. In the same way, you can't plant negative thoughts and expect a positive life. If you want to walk in peace, joy, and strength, you have to plant the right seeds, thoughts of faith, thoughts of victory, thoughts of abundance. Maybe you've been focused on the wrong things. Maybe you've been replaying old hurts, dwelling on what didn't work out, or constantly thinking about what you lack. But today is a new day. You have the power to shift your focus. You have the ability to look ahead and say, asterisk, I may not see it yet, but I know something good is coming. I know God is leading me to greater things. I know my best days are still ahead. Asterisk. When you focus on the right things, doors open, strength rises, and your life moves in the right direction. So keep your eyes forward, keep your thoughts full of faith, and watch how everything begins to change for the better. What you focus on in life will shape your future. It will determine the path you walk, the choices you make, and the results you see. Your thoughts are like the steering wheel of your life. Where they go, you follow. If you constantly focus on problems, obstacles, and disappointments, that's where your energy will flow, and that's what you'll continue to experience. But if you shift your focus to solutions, opportunities, and the goodness of God, you'll find yourself moving forward with confidence and joy. Too often, we get caught up in distractions, things that don't serve us, things that drain our energy, things that pull us away from our purpose. Maybe it's the opinions of others, past failures, or fears about the future. It's easy to dwell on what's wrong, what we don't have, or what hasn't worked out. But here's the truth. Whatever you magnify in your mind will grow in your life. Think about it this way. If you're driving a car and keep looking in the rearview mirror, you're going to have a hard time moving forward. The same principle applies to life. You can't focus on past mistakes and expect to step into new blessings. You can't focus on the fear of failure and expect to walk in confidence. You can't focus on what others are saying about you and expect to live in peace. Instead, you have to make a decision to set your mind on things that build you up, things that strengthen you, things that remind you of who you are and what you're capable of. The Scripture tells us, asterisk, set your minds on things above, not on earthly things. Asterisk, that means we have to be intentional about where our thoughts go. Are you focusing on how big your problem is? Are you focusing on how big your God is? Are you focusing on what's missing, or are you focusing on what's possible? A farmer doesn't plant weeds and expect a harvest of wheat. In the same way, you can't plant negative thoughts and expect a positive life. If you want to walk in peace, joy, and strength, you have to plant the right seeds, thoughts of faith, thoughts of victory, thoughts of abundance. Maybe you've been focused on the wrong things. Maybe you've been replaying old hurts, dwelling on what didn't work out, or constantly thinking about what you lack. But today is a new day. You have the power to shift your focus. You have the ability to look ahead and say, asterisk, I may not see it yet, but I know something good is coming. I know God is leading me to greater things. I know my best days are still ahead. Asterisk. When you focus on the right things, doors open, strength rises, and your life moves in the right direction. So keep your eyes forward, keep your thoughts full of faith, and watch how everything begins to change for the better. Fear is one of the greatest obstacles that can hold us back from living the life we were meant to live. It whispers doubts, magnifies problems, and keeps us stuck in worry. But here's the good news. We don't have to let fear control our thoughts. We have the power to shift our focus. We have the ability to fix our minds on faith, on hope, on the promises of God rather than the uncertainties of life. Every day we are faced with a choice. Will we focus on fear or will we focus on faith? Fear will tell you that you're not good enough, that you'll never get ahead, that things will never change. Faith, on the other hand, tells you that you are equipped, that you are favored, that something good is coming your way. Fear looks at the storm and says, asterisk, it's too big, I'll never make it. Asterisk, faith looks at the same storm and says, asterisk, my God is bigger and I know He will make a way. The mind is like a battlefield. And every day, thoughts of fear and thoughts of faith try to take control. You may not be able to stop every fearful thought from coming, but you don't have to let it stay. Just because a bird flies over your head doesn't mean you let it build a nest. In the same way, just because fear enters your mind doesn't mean you have to meditate on it, dwell on it, or let it dictate your actions. You can reject fear and replace it with faith. One of the best ways to fix your thoughts on faith is to remind yourself of past victories. Think back to the times when you didn't see a way, but somehow things worked out. Remember when you thought you wouldn't make it, but here you are, still standing. If God has brought you through before, He will do it again. The same power that helped you in the past is still working in your life today. Sometimes fear tries to disguise itself as logic. It says, asterisk, be realistic. Don't get your hopes up. What if things don't work out? Asterisk. But faith doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means choosing to believe in something greater than what you see. It means trusting that even if you don't have all the answers, God does. It means stepping forward even when you're uncertain, knowing that you're being guided in the right direction. Fear paralyzes, but faith moves. Fear weakens, but faith strengthens. Fear tells you to retreat, but faith tells you to keep going. The more you fix your thoughts on faith, the more courage you will have, the more peace you will experience, and the more doors will begin to open in your life. Maybe today, fear has been trying to take over your mind. Maybe you've been overwhelmed by worry, by uncertainty, by the what-ifs, but now is the time to take back control. Now is the time to say, asterisk, I refuse to let fear dictate my future. I choose to fix my thoughts on faith. I choose to believe that good things are ahead. I choose to trust that everything is working together for my good. Asterisk. When you fix your thoughts on faith, you shift your perspective. You start seeing possibilities instead of problems. You start expecting blessings instead of bracing for disappointment. You start walking in confidence, knowing that no matter what comes your way, you are not alone, you are not defeated, and you are moving toward greater things. So keep your thoughts on faith and watch as doors open, strength rises, and your life transforms. Have you ever noticed how some days you feel full of energy, excited and ready to take on anything, while other days you feel drained, exhausted, and unmotivated. What's the difference? It's not always about how much sleep you got, how much coffee you drank, or even how busy you are. More often than not, it's about what you're focusing on. Your focus determines your energy. Where your mind goes, your strength follows. If you're constantly thinking about everything that's wrong, everything that's missing, or everything that could go wrong, you'll find yourself feeling tired, discouraged, and overwhelmed. But when you focus on what's good, on what's possible, and on what you can do rather than what you can't, your energy rises. You feel motivated, empowered, and ready to move forward. Think about the last time you were truly excited about something. Maybe it was a new opportunity, a goal you were working toward, or even a vacation you were looking forward to. What happened? You had energy. You woke up ready to go. You didn't need someone to push you or remind you to stay motivated. You were naturally energized because your focus was on something positive. On the other hand, when you focus on problems, setbacks, or things that drain you emotionally, your energy starts to fade. You wake up already feeling tired. You go through the day feeling sluggish and unmotivated. It's not because you lack strength, it's because your focus is pulling your energy in the wrong direction. The good news is you don't have to live that way. You have the power to change your focus, and when you do, you'll see your energy shift. Instead of focusing on what's not working, focus on what is. Instead of dwelling on what you don't have, focus on what you do. Instead of letting stress and negativity take over your mind, focus on gratitude, on faith, and on the good things ahead. Imagine you're holding a flashlight in a dark room. Whatever you shine that light on is what you're going to see most clearly. If you shine it on the clutter, the mess, and the problems, that's all you'll notice. But if you shine it on the path forward, the open doors and the opportunities, that's what will stand out. The same is true in life. Your focus is like that flashlight, and whatever you choose to highlight will shape your experience. Maybe you've been feeling drained lately, like you're running on empty. Before assuming you need more rest or less responsibility, ask yourself, what have I been focusing on? Asterisk, have you been giving your energy to things that lift you up or to things that bring you down? Have you been focusing on hope, or have you been consumed by worry? Your energy is too valuable to waste on the wrong things. You weren't created to go through life feeling tired, discouraged, and defeated. You were created to walk in strength and joy and purpose. And it starts with where you set your focus. Today, make the decision to focus on what fills you, not what drains you. Focus on what excites you, not what exhausts you. Focus on the good, on the opportunities, on the blessings ahead. When you do, you'll feel your energy rise, your motivation return, and your life move in the right direction. Life is full of challenges. No matter who you are or where you come from, you will face difficulties along the way. But the way you respond to those challenges determines the direction of your life. Some people see obstacles and immediately feel defeated. They think, this is too hard. I'll never get past this. Why do things always go wrong for me? Others see the same obstacles but respond differently. They think, this is tough, but what can I learn from this? How can I grow? What new doors opening because of this? The difference isn't in the situation, it's in the perspective. The truth is every obstacle carries within it an opportunity. The problem is many people never see it because they're too focused on what's going wrong. They're too caught up in frustration, disappointment, or fear to recognize that their setback might actually be a setup for something greater. Think about some of the greatest success stories. Many of them started with what looked like an obstacle. A door closed, a job was lost, a relationship ended, a plan fell apart. But instead of giving up, those people chose to see the obstacle as an opportunity to pivot, to grow, to discover a new path. What looked like rejection was actually redirection. What seemed like failure was actually preparation for something better. It's easy to focus on what didn't work out, but what if you started asking yourself, what can this teach me? How can this make me stronger? What new possibilities are in front of me that I wouldn't have seen if things had gone the way I originally planned? When you shift from obstacles to opportunities, you start seeing life in a whole new way. Maybe you didn't get the job you wanted, but that just means there's something better waiting for you. Maybe a door closed in a relationship, but that just means you're being freed for the right person to come along. Maybe a plan you had fell apart, but that just means a better plan is on its way. Nothing happens by accident. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to grow, to strengthen your faith, and to prepare for something greater. One of the biggest mistakes people make is letting obstacles define them. they go through a difficult season and start believing asterisk. This is just my life. Things never work out for me. I guess I'm just unlucky. Asterisk. But that's not true. Your circumstances don't define you. Your perspective does. You can go through the same difficulties as someone else, but if you choose to see them as stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks, you'll come out stronger, wiser, and better prepared for what's ahead. Obstacles will come, that's a fact, but whether you let them stop you or push you forward is up to you. Some of the greatest breakthroughs in life happen when you refuse to let an obstacle defeat you. You make the choice to rise, to learn, to move forward with faith instead of fear. Today, take a look at the challenges in front of you. Instead of seeing them as walls blocking your way, start seeing them as doors leading to something better. Ask yourself, asterisk, where is the opportunity in this? How can I grow from this? What good thing is waiting on the other side of this challenge? Asterisk, when you shift from obstacles to opportunities, you shift your entire future. You move from frustration to faith, from defeat to victory, from struggling to thriving. And before you know it, you'll look back and realize that what once seemed like a roadblock was actually a launch pad for something greater. Your focus is one of the most powerful tools you have. It determines your energy, your direction, and ultimately the life you experience. Challenges will come, distractions will try to pull you away, and fear will attempt to cloud your vision. But you are not powerless. You have the ability to choose what you dwell on, what you magnify, and what you allow to shape your mindset. When you fix your thoughts on faith instead of fear, you'll find strength rising within you. When you shift from obstacles to opportunities, you'll start seeing new doors open. When you focus on gratitude instead of lack, you'll realize just how blessed you already are. And when you keep your mind on the right things, favor will follow you in ways you never imagined. Life isn't about waiting for everything to be perfect before you feel joy, confidence, and peace. It's about choosing to focus on what lifts you up rather than what weighs you down. It's about training your mind to see possibility instead of limitation, hope instead of worry, and blessings instead of burdens. So today, make the decision to take control of your focus. Stop letting distractions steal your joy. Stop giving your energy to things that don't serve you. Choose to see the good. Choose to walk in faith. Choose to believe that the best is still ahead. Because when you focus on the right things, your life will begin to shift, doors will open, and you'll step into the favor, strength, and purpose that were meant for you all along. Your life moves in the direction of your focus. What you choose to dwell on, think about, and give your attention to will shape your attitude, your decisions, and ultimately your destiny. If you focus on negativity, on what's wrong, on what you don't have, then that's the energy you'll carry with you. You'll feel weighed down, frustrated, and stuck. But when you choose to focus on what is good, on what's possible, and on the promises over your life, you'll begin to see favor follow you wherever you go. Favor isn't just about being lucky or being in the right place at the right time. It's about aligning your mind and your spirit with the right things. It's about choosing to see the opportunities instead of the obstacles. It's about walking with confidence, knowing that everything is working out for your good. When you focus on the right things in faith, on gratitude, on growth, you position yourself to receive blessings that were already meant for you. Too often, people miss out on favor because they're focused on the wrong things. They're caught up in worry, in comparison, in bitterness. They're looking at what others have instead of being grateful for what's in their own hands. They're focused on past mistakes instead of the fresh start available to them. They're dwelling on disappointments instead of expecting new opportunities. And because of that, they walk around feeling like nothing ever goes their way. But the truth is, favor is always available. You just have to tune your focus to see it. Imagine walking through a garden filled with beautiful flowers, but instead of noticing the vibrant colors and the fresh scent, you only focus on the weeds. That's how many people live their lives. They're surrounded by blessings, by open doors, by moments of grace, but because they're focused on the wrong things, they don't even recognize them. Favor is all around, but you have to fix your focus to see it. When you focus on gratitude instead of complaining, you'll walk in favor. When you focus on possibility instead of limitation, you'll walk in favor. When you focus on faith instead of fear, you'll walk in favor. It's not about ignoring reality. It's about choosing to see things through a lens of expectation and trust. It's about believing that even when things don't go as planned, something good is still on the way. Maybe you've been feeling stuck, like things aren't working out, like favor seems to be passing you by. But ask yourself, what have you been focusing on? Have you been looking at what's missing? Or have you been celebrating what's already in front of you? Have you been dwelling on the problems? Or are you believing that solutions are coming? The good news is you have the power to shift your focus at any time. You don't have to wait for your circumstances to change. You can change your perspective right now. You can decide to start looking for the good, to start expecting favor, to start walking with confidence. And when you do, you'll be amazed at how things begin to fall into place. Opportunities will open. Strength will rise. Doors that were once closed will suddenly swing wide, not because life magically got easier, but because you trained your mind to see the favor that was always there. So keep your focus on the right things and hope, on faith, on what's possible. Watch as favor follows you wherever you go.